Hey.
Oh, I know. I look forward to your...
Okay, so gather on in so I don't have to yell too loud. And then let's go over some of our generalities, okay? So, what we're looking for men is we're trying to get you your calories times so it's 10 times body weight. 10 to 12 times body weight. Right. Okay.
Calories.
Women are probably 10 to 11.
What have you met? What's this?
Per day. Per day. This is calories per day. So if you weigh 150 pounds, you're looking at 1,700 calories for this session, for this month. There you go. All right? Okay. So here's what we're talking about here. We are trying to get you into a nutrient-dense system rather than a calorie-dense. Okay. So basically, empty foods, right? I'll throw out something like coconut water. Okay, right? Empty calories. Almond milk, empty calories, right? Empty calories.
Wait a second. That drink does not have empty calories, that lemonade over there.
Okay, so if you are going to take coconut water or almond milk or recovery drink or whey protein, it gets applied to your calories, right? It gets applied. So if you somebody who's like, I cannot not have a glass of wine at night, fine, count it towards your carbs. It goes to your carbs. It goes into your pie chart. Fat, protein, and carbohydrates. Okay? So it has to be applied. Okay? It's not magical. It's not like, it's good for me, so I'm just going to drink it. Or it keeps me sane, so I'm just going to drink it. Why am I still fat? Okay? So we got to make sure that we are getting you on a prescription. You got to be on point. Okay? That's the point of this whole thing, is to teach you guys to do this stuff. Joey and I were talking about it yesterday. This is incredibly front-loaded. There's an incredible amount of stuff that you're taking in. Literally, within like 10 days, you will have it filled. You will not be running and measuring food. You will not be counting calories because you'll know.
Is this just for this week? Is that for the entire week?
Okay, so now we move into, I'll use two specific people. Me, Will Egan. Okay? Will Egan walks around at 8 to 9% body fat, maybe. He's looking to perform well at NorCal Masters. He is looking well to do well at the Open. I want to drop body fat. That's all I want to do, okay? All I want to do. So, those two programs, we have three things that we're doing here, right? We've called it the cleanse, the build, and the cut, okay? Will basically keep on going for 3 months on the cleanse. The build, we will slightly be tinkering, Zoe mostly will be tinkering with your individual percentages. How are you doing? Are you getting towards your goal? We don't really know individually what all of your goals are yet. You will start saying, well, this is kind of what I'm working towards. I'd like to do better in the gym. I'd like to drop a little weight. I'd like to feel better. We'll start tweaking your stuff. It might stay the same. It might change. If you're on the cut, what do you think has to happen? You gotta reduce calories. Okay? You gotta reduce calories. The biggest mistake everybody on the planet makes on January 1st when they do that New Year's resolution is they cut calories right away. They're in an acidic state and they cut calories. And what happens February 10th? Fucking I'm out. Right? Make sense? Does everybody agree? Okay, so we're trying to make it so that you guys, if you're on, and I know mostly this is towards a body fat loss group, okay? If I had to guess. if that is the case,
Is it just by looking at us?
barrage of comments that I get, right? Okay, so if that is the case, what we want to do is we want to figure out how we reduce it without lowering the metabolic rate, i.e. how many calories you burn at rest. That's the second mistake everybody makes on a body fat loss program. They dump calories. They haven't built themselves up to performing real well. They haven't built a lot of lean body mass, and then they dump calories. Their metabolic rate immediately starts to go down around 6 weeks. I feel like shit. I don't want to do this. I'm in a bad headspace. I go on ski week and I'm just off the rails. I just, all those things that happen. Okay, and it's because you dumped it too fast. You weren't ready. Okay. It's all about that positive mindset that comes from the right calories. Nutrient-dense calories is that shopping list. That's why the things that aren't on that shopping list aren't there, because they are calorie dense. We need you to feel full when you eat food. You should feel satiated. You should feel like, wow, I'm having a hard time eating all this food. Because what's going to happen on the cut? We're going to reduce it. And you're going to get a little on the edge, okay? Because that's what has to happen. How long do you do that for? 30 days. That's it, okay? You can't ride it for 45, 60. We go back to a maintenance plan, which we'll talk about in the third month.
I just wanted to clarify something. I am not attached to any of my routines. Like if you tell me what to do, I'm not attached to it. That's why I'm not attached to my cooking. I just don't know what to do. And my question is, after it goes, is there one thing better than the routine versus the recovery training?
So let's start getting into that. What do I eat, when, and why? Okay? So, when we start talking about breaking down, the same thing applies, and I'm going to be putting this on the Facebook page, an example of a 140-pound woman, okay, as our example, okay? You want to pull that up? So, a 140-pound woman who is looking for some kind of drop in body fat.
More hotness than she already has in her 40s, perhaps as an example.
Trying to be as technical ready out there.
Maybe that's possibly our example. With, say, a middle-aged man also looking for hotness.
All right. So, what we're looking
He's looking for a 20-year-old woman.
you will be consuming in general, and this is going to be true for everybody. Okay, so we're going to go general at first. 40% carbs. 35% protein. 25% fat.
So, question.
Yes.
The qualitative carbs, I guess that's always been sort of this, you can have lots of carbs, it's a percentage there, but there have to be certain kinds of carbs, I just throw in whatever carbs I want.
Okay, so we have 4 different food macronutrients we're talking about for this project we're doing. Proteins, lean protein, right? Ribeye is not the best choice. It's calorically dense, okay? Right? Chicken breast, nutrient dense, okay? Lean protein, green vegetables or vegetables, okay? Healthy carbs and fat.
So does that mean the carbs include vegetable carbs or just carbs?
So we're not gonna, 2 cups of spinach I think are 6 grams of carbs, something like that. So leafy greens, not so much. Leafy greens, not so much. It's gotta be a fistful. Okay, there you go. That's going to be my next thing, right? So when we're talking about a healthy carbs, we're talking about sweet potatoes, rice, oatmeal, multi-grain bread, recovery, if that's your jam. We're not making anybody do recovery, okay? That is my performers need, and we'll be talking about it a little bit later with some of the guys and gals who are looking to perform better. Post-workout meals, specifically with recovery or intra-workout carbs being put in, okay? Meaning a few sips of recovery drink in between the weight and the comp. That's for later, right? That's something that a competitor would do. All right? So, we break this down in this app, MyFitnessPal. Free app. Does anybody not have it? Okay. You punch in your numbers in your desktop. It's free. It's either a desktop version or a phone version, either or. And you start looking at figuring out how am I going to get the foods that we gave you into the number of calories I should be eating a day. And it comes with, and when after you punch in all your foods, it'll give you a pie chart. The pie chart will tell you if your percentages are on or off.
You can also set it so you can set every morning.
100%.
And then when you reach your it'll give you an alert. Like, you're done with the
Right.
So when you get prescribed the calories that you're going to get for your body weight, you're going to go to your profile and put in these percentages. And it will calculate how many grams of carbs that you need for that day. And then when you put in your food for that day, you can look at the pie chart and see if it matches the goal that you had. Make sense?
So I think a lot of people have the question for carbohydrates in particular.
Yes.
What is allowed and what isn't allowed? Because you could have a donut and it'll be like ding, ding.
Okay. Anybody, does this ring a bell? If it fits my macros. Does anybody hear that on social media or have read about it or anything
Yes.
like that? That's kind of like you go on social media and you look at CrossFitters. There's this program out there called If It Fits Your Macros. You have a macro percentage, eat whatever you want. Put table sugar, doesn't matter, right? Just put it in there. That's not what we're talking about. We're the exact opposite, okay? We have given you a food list, right? So, if I take you through a day of mine, which would be oatmeal makes me gag. I can't make it taste good. I just doesn't. It's not happening. It's not on my plan. I put it on my thing because maybe once a week I'll like fight it, or I'll put it in a blender or something and blend it with protein powder just to get my carbs in. Okay. Egg whites and rice with two fistfuls of spinach at 4:30 in the morning. Okay? All right. Right now so here we go. When I talk about putting in food, you can do whatever you want. I bring up like the grossest thing I could think about that I would eat to make everybody go, you don't have to do that. You might be an oatmeal person. I'll eat food at any time of day as long as it fits my percentages. Okay, so you have to, through the shopping list that we gave you, carbs Allison is talking about, healthy carbs, oatmeal, rice, sweet potatoes, recovery drink, multi-grain bread, limited, right? I put okay, fruit, yep, fruit can be, we're gonna count that towards carbs, not greens.
You will be shocked. An apple will be like, boom.
Yeah, so the problem with fruit, here's the deal with fruit. Right?
I'm trying to integrate this with the fish thing, the numbers of things that each. So would I be correct that like in a given meal, if you have one fistful of protein, one fistful of healthy carbs, that's getting like 30 to 35% of your carbs, and then the other 5 to 10% of your carbs are two fistful of veggies.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah, I would shave down a little bit. Maybe not even that much. 10% of veggies might be even a lot.
Of your carbs.
Of your carbs.
I see.
Right? It's like when you
That's
get into
a
my
lot.
FitnessPal and you pump it in, you're like 6 cups of spinach, which if you ate 6 cups of raw spinach, you will be full. And you will have put 0 dent into the number of calories, right? That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to give you food that satiates you, right? Because once again, right, you gotta, body fat's the goal, we gotta reduce it.
At some point after you finish going through the plan, if you help with a specific like vegetarian, like apples are crazy carbs. So like is it better to eat a sweet potato, do you have
Yes,
specific
the food list I gave you is best.
Will you recirculate, because everyone keeps saying it.
Oh,
I just found it on
okay.
Facebook.
Okay.
Okay, I'll repost it out today.
The food list is there.
And it's in the,
But it just says general. I think she wants more specifically, like which fruits are better than others.
You put it, yeah.
yeah,
Put it in my-
I can write it up, but once you guys start putting it in,
Alright, so the first one.
you'll be like, oh shit, grapefruit is like out of control.
Search on Google that says low glycemic fruits, or like a ranking of fruits, high glycemic to low, just do your top three.
Yes, the glycemic index, the berries are berries are. And I think
Okay, so,
Show and tell.
all right. So if we start talking about 5 meals a day, okay?
Don't jump in there at once, everybody.
I didn't want to throw in the greens, okay? Okay. Okay.
Oh, I like that.
All right, so
Portions.
what we're looking at here, if you're talking about, so getting a little bit more specific, what you guys are going to be looking at in our what were our breakdown stuff. So this is our 140-pound female.
So we have 5 meals a day, 3 to 5 ounces, so let's call it 30 grams of protein.
Okay, so it's 3 to 5 ounces. This is each meal. Okay, this would be each meal, kind of in general, right across. All right, 3.5 ounces of protein. That's what that is. All right, this is weighed and measured from today.
In your face, wait till we get to my ball.
That's, yeah.
You're gonna be starving.
Keep dreaming, sucker.
There it is. Right?
Yeah. 5 times.
Weighed and measured on camera. Big day today, Gabe. Big day. Big day, right? Big day.
We got the Giants playing today.
Okay. 3.5 ounces of protein.
So we're about 40 for the 2 meals closest to it.
40 grams of carbs around the workout. 40 grams of carbs.
Sweet potato.
All right. Mashed sweet potato. Okay. Right. That's exactly what a 40-pound woman would be doing. Okay.
After a workout.
Around the workout.
Around the workout.
Around the workout. Before and after the workout. Okay. So then, so these are your 2 meals. And then what do we have for fat? I think it was.
It was either 15 grams for the last 2 meals,
Right.
or 10 for
Last 3, or I should say other 3.
This is probably the 2 meals closest to your workout.
So it'd be like, if we're having your guys to
So there's no fat in those meals. Okay? No fat in there, absolutely. I have chicken broth that I threw in to mix into the mashed sweet potatoes just to keep them moist so they're not dry. And that's stir fried with spread.
Is that okay to do a meal with no fat in it?
You want to be as low fat possible around your workouts as possible.
Okay. What about the non-workout meals?
Non-workout meals, other 3 meals. So we're in the low fat. I don't want to put an exact amount, but we're low fat in the 2 meals around the workouts. The other 3, okay, we're looking at same thing for protein. The carbs were slightly lower
Why low fat around the workout? This is
because
still non-keto.
right, it's totally
Yeah.
non-keto, totally non-keto, and we can get into kind of that specifically later. So we are trying to perform our best, build lean body mass the best, and if you carry body fat, guess what? You have no need for fat in a workout. If it's on your body, right? It's going to be accessed, okay? But we're trying to access it. As soon as you throw fat in there, your body goes, oh, well, I'll use that for energy. I don't need to use stored body fat.
I'm all confused now.
Okay? Hang in there, right? Hang in there. 30 grams carbs. So slightly lower on the 3 meals furthest away, okay, from our workouts, wherever they may be, because everybody here works out at different times, okay? And then our fat goes up. 1 tablespoon.
Goes all the way up.
Per meal.
Okay?
Per meal.
Per meal. For these 3. This is our women. Okay? Yes, John.
So these do not include your 2 shakes, or it does?
So
Your 2
one
shakes
of
is
these
one.
meals, it could be during your workout, right after, it could be the shake, so protein and carbs. That would count as a meal. And then the meal after that, close to your workout, would also be counted as one of these with the higher carb load.
That's 3 meals.
So,
Two.
One
so
before
if,
the
let me
shake.
say,
Yeah, shake and a meal.
for the 140 pound woman, let's just say works out at 8:30 in the morning.
Yeah,
Okay.
right, you said.
For breakfast, you would have that bowl before your workout, no fat, you have that for breakfast.
Right.
And then you would have, after your workout, either a shake, if you like shakes, or you would eat that again. And you wouldn't have any
So the
fat.
difficulty is, I just cannot eat something like that.
Then have another version of it, and have egg whites with,
Oatmeal.
you have to eat breakfast.
I guess it's an adjustment. I am not hungry at all.
Great, so then you have to speak, that's the thing, is
That's the social.
There's a reason you're not hungry at all. There's a reason you don't wake up hungry. Okay? Your metabolic rate is low. Right? And the way you change that is you slowly start doing uncomfortable shit to pick that metabolic rate up, whether it's working out, eating a different way, changing it somehow, some way, right? Same thing. My grandmother died at 80 pounds at 85 years old, natural causes, which is great. She never ate, right? She'd lean over the car to get her purse and break her ribs. Okay, so like you slowly start this path of like reduce calories, you know, don't eat as much. I don't eat in the morning, and then you're like, it's great. Old people, right? I hardly ever eat and I never sleep. It's awesome. It's terrible. Okay, that you painted yourself into that corner, right? Okay, we got to keep this thing hot, moving, right? You should be sleeping awesome. You should be going to bed full and waking up hungry. You should be, you know, getting going. Your workout should be great. You shouldn't be like, okay? You shouldn't be crushingly sore. You shouldn't be all these different things. And
Is there a point where we should not eat anymore at night?
we should not eat what?
Anymore at night? Like, should we be eating like right before we go to bed and then
So,
the 5th meal?
there's one question from somebody. What's the casein for?
Yeah.
Okay, right? Okay. So, yes, you should be eating before you go to bed, because what's the first meal of the day called?
break your fast.
Breakfast, right? So breaking the fast. So you're going to bed, right? So you're now fasting. You've been eating all day long regularly, and now all of a sudden, hopefully for 8 hours, typically longer, okay, we're not eating. That doesn't work for your metabolism. That doesn't, you need to, like, what are you gonna do? And I'm going extreme, but remember, we're basing a lot of this off of the experts, the people who have and perform the best in the world. Whether it's professional athletes, bodybuilders, you know, like, I don't want to look like that. You don't have to look like that, okay? But they are the best in the world at the stuff we're kind of talking about doing. They wake up in the middle of the night and have a shake. Okay? It's what they do to make sure that they don't crash their metabolism. Right? So that meal right before you go to bed, casein, just going now, I'm going a little bit outside here of what we're talking about, the general fastball down the middle, is a protein that's different from whey, right? It comes from cheese protein, and people are like, oh, gross, it's just protein powder, okay? It's slower digesting. So when you take that shake of casein, it sticks in your body and it takes longer for your body to process it as you start going through the night.
And another reason we add 5 times about 3.5 ounces equals about your body weight in grams of protein. I could guess most of you don't get that much protein a day. It's hard to get that much in. Hence why having a shake at night like the casein gets you to that protein that you want to hit about your body weight in grams. So that's just an easy way to get that bigger meal if you're not super hungry. And it tastes good.
225 grams of protein. Okay? 120 pound woman, 140. what the casein? The casein is a derivative of dairy that comes from the cheese when they separate the whey from the milk and the casein for the cheese. Cheese is made from casein. So you could do whey. You don't have to go online, jump online and get. But you probably should if it's you have your last meal at 6 o'clock and you go to bed at 10, and you eat at 7 or 10, 12 hours. 14 hours later, that's not good.
No, I don't eat after.
And you do a fat with that?
Yes.
Like,
Yes. Yes. Unless you worked out right before you went to bed. Unless if you're a 7 p.m. workout person and you're going to bed at 9, not a good idea.
Are you saying, like, let's say we work out like pretty soon after breakfast, are you saying we probably shouldn't have fat in that breakfast meal?
If you work out pretty soon after breakfast, you should have a pretty low fat.
Low fat, because it's close to the workout.
Oatmeal and egg.
so what about 5:15, 6:15, jump out of bed and go to the gym?
I would make a shake before your workout. Start with during your workout.
In your workout.
It's like, what is that?
See if you,
Just like a recovery shake, just
a recovery.
revive or
Yeah, yeah, and you might want to, depending on how to fit in your percentages, you might actually add a scoop of protein powder to your recovery shake. So it's more like an even. It's more like a 1-to-1 than a 2 or 3-to-1.
I don't know how much recovery shake
Gotta fit your percentages. I would tell you somewhere. And sorry, I'm gonna reach behind your head. Here, I would be in the and they're all pretty close. You should probably be in the 30-40 grams of carbs.
I could just make the egg whites and the zucchini I sauteed up this morning specifically for you.
So when I do my workouts, I do an intra workout calories in the form of like almost an even protein and carb drink. I do our APS recovery and a scoop of APS protein in there to even it out, so it's 1-to-1. I drink 2 drinks throughout my work, two gulps during my workout, and then like half of it right after the workout. 40 to 60 minutes later, I'm eating a meal. Okay, it's not like okay, good, I got 4 hours off now. It doesn't work that way. Okay, and once again, there's no fistfuls of spinach in here, or asparagus, or blah blah blah, whatever, broccoli or whatever you want to put in there. So men, this is 7 grams of protein, 7 ounces, 35-ish or 30-ish grams of protein in here, and about 60 grams of carbs.
That's 2 meals.
65 grams of carbs. This is 1 meal.
That's your meal.
That's 1 meal?
For him. For him.
Right? Now, for me, 225. Right? So when you start punching your stuff into my fitness pal, it's gonna be like, oh, okay, here we go. You gotta do it before you eat. Right? You gotta create your day before you don't do your day and then be like, this is what I had.
I know I've asked this question earlier, but I guess this is my one big question is because I want to keep eating a lot of greens. So the greens are basically just extra. Just add as much greens as you want, basically.
Yes. And I gotta be honest, like I do a little bit in my meals. Most of my greens come at the end of the day and that one shake before bed. I go fistfuls and fistfuls of spinach in a shake to get my greens in. The greens they can be loaded in areas. They don't have to be evenly distributed throughout the day.
So what do you think about other veggies, carrots, bell peppers?
So you start getting into, and once again, this is kind of like going down the casein. This is getting a little bit like off the main track. You start getting into vegetables that will have a little bit more in the fruit area, but I don't think anybody's going to nobody's going to eat a bag of carrots, right? You would have to eat, crazy.
Just count it towards your carbs.
Yeah.
Just put it in my fitness pal.
Yeah, and see, and to punch it in, it'd be like just a cup of carrots compared to a cup of spinach, right? It's like way different. Okay. Yeah.
Just to clarify, the objective with this is 5 meals, and so I have trouble carrying a slice of fruit with me when you're running around like crazy, you're sitting at your desk. You can't have, and I know it's a fat, but is almond butter never going to be considered protein? It's never.
Nuts and nut butters will never be considered never be considered.
So there's never going to be an opportunity when you search for no snacking, I'm grabbing a bag of celery.
That's a snack question also. What's a snack?
A snack is a meal.
There's no snacks.
There's no snack.
5 meals a day.
Snack's a piece of chicken.
No, not your
No,
celery
it's
sticks.
never just one. It's never just one macro.
Acceptable protein and almond butter is not acceptable.
Why?
Yeah.
Because I am trying to create, we are trying to create a prescription for you to be successful. And when people say, well, I'm not really opposed to eating chicken. Okay, I don't care, all right? You have to figure out a way to get this to work for you, okay? Because, all right, if you want to go down that road, almonds and soy are not protein, okay? They are called a broken chain amino acid. A branched chain amino acid has 16 essential amino acids in it. All the other ones, soy, nuts, those things, are broken. They only have 14. So they don't do the metabolic property of building lean body mass and supporting your metabolic rate that protein does. Now, if you're a vegetarian, that's tough. That's tough. They try to do food combining. It doesn't work, okay? And I don't have any problems, religious or moral or whatever you choose to do eating-wise. My job is to tell you the science, okay? This is the way it works inside the body, okay? You can't build a lot of lean body mass on almond milk and broccoli and lettuce, okay? Doesn't work. Yes.
So I know that it said no snacks, 5 meals a day, maybe you're too full to eat snacks, but if I want to just munch on a celery stick, which is just basically water and fiber, can I do that for 5 meals?
Yeah.
Is that part of my because
Sure.
it doesn't really add any kind of it's not,
Sure.
but it combines it.
But don't put any.
Now you guys should be with our food list, not in that thing like I'm hungry.
Snacks.
You really shouldn't
Well,
be.
then you have to
Now,
dig into the habit
It's
of why you
breaking
need
the habit
to
of
eat.
snacking.
Yes.
yeah, that's like me
When I
in
got a
this.
habit, I get on my tea.
My movie,
It's a habit.
right? Like
Yes.
this is my thing. You always
Right.
see me with this because it's a habit. It's
Yeah.
not, there's nothing, I don't even feel the caffeine anymore, right? It does nothing to me, but that first class of the day, I have to freaking have it, right? At 8:30 again, a few hours later, I have to have it. At noon, I I can't explain it. If you need something crunchy, that's a habit, right? So that's, if somebody said to me like, which, I like to drink, I bank my fat, my tablespoons of fat into the heavy whipping cream that I put in here. I cook fat free so I can have heavy whipping cream in my tea because regular tea is too bitter for me, right? Well, guess what's gonna happen in the cut? What do you think we're gonna cut?
Celery.
Wha-
Celery.
Why are we gonna cut fat for the body fat loss, folks, in the final month?
So we use up the time we have.
So we look like Will Egan.
Well, there you go, right? But it's because fat is calorie dense, not nutrient dense.
So this might be
Right?
a separate conversation, but I'm so confused. I've done a bunch of these things and none of them freaking work the past 3 months. One thing that worked really well for me was keto.
Yeah.
Like it was immediate.
Yeah.
And I loved eating the way
Yeah.
because I could do a lot of bacon and whatever I wanted.
Yeah.
Avocados, nuts.
Yep.
This is so contrary to that.
Yes. Yeah.
Can you just tell me a little bit of the science behind why?
Yeah. I think ketosis, that is where someone will eat a 75% fat, 20% protein, 5%, right, Robert, around that, prescription food, okay? It is an incredible anti-inflammatory diet. It will reduce inflammation. I said this to Zoe, like, if there was somebody who was like, I'm diagnosed with cancer, bang, go on keto.
Yeah.
Right? I'm sick, I have migraines, different things, like, boom, it's awesome, okay? And people lose weight, right? Okay, the scale number goes down. After a few months, and it happens to me, and I would argue anybody who's done it for a long time, a number of times, my performance starts to suffer. My body stops changing. I don't really get huge benefits anymore. Especially the second, third, and fourth time you do keto, your body doesn't react the same. It's like, oh, I get it. Oh, we're doing this? Oh, okay. And I don't know if you've experienced that, Robert, right? But
The big problem I found with keto is that you're walking on a tightrope. To stay in ketosis all the time the diet has to go super strict, high fat. And the biggest danger is adding a little bit of carbs. If you add just a little bit of carbs, your insulin spikes and
Your 4 days.
you pack away the fat very fast.
Because your body doesn't recognize it. It's foreign. The body doesn't even get it. Right now, what is ketosis? A completely acidic diet. Now, don't assume acidic is bad. Okay, we talked about it. We are an even alkaline acidic animal, and there's nothing wrong with going all the way that way. There's nothing wrong with going all the way alkaline. But what you do is when you introduce a food that's on the other end of the spectrum, your body doesn't recognize it. Right? So all of a sudden, that's why we're trying to look at this stuff. We're trying to create the most nutrient-dense, I hate to say the word diet, but that's what it is, diet that everybody should be on so they feel satiated, they feel energized, they feel like they're performing in the gym and outside of the gym great. Okay?
So as we're talking about fat, we've been talking a lot about lean meats for protein
Yeah.
and healthy carbs. What in terms of fats, do you care if it's saturated, unsaturated, in coconut versus olive oil? Like,
Yeah.
Just fat.
Everybody here, I think, is pretty versed in paleo.
Right.
Right? I mean, we're like, nobody's going to go run out and grab Wesson or something like that, right? We're all like, that's bad. Right? So, no, if it fits within the healthy fat range,
Yeah.
I'm okay with butter. If that's your
Right,
thing.
butter or
I'm okay with dairy if that's your like it because
But also avocado is going to count.
avocado's going to be counting towards fat.
Almond butter would count.
It's got to count towards fat. And the problem with almond butter, once again, is if you really want to, especially when you start with nut butters, when you start getting into the cut, for those of you who want to do a body fat cut, you've got to start counting those carbs too in the nuts.
Oh, right.
You got to split that thing up, and
Does
that's like.
homemade almond milk count as
Oh yeah.
Yes.
when you separate the meat of the almond from the when you juice like right now, is the fat in the water of that and it's not in the fiber of that?
Somebody else have to answer that. I'll have to
Because I
look
make
at
it
that.
I know
at
when
home
it's straight
and
on
put
the milk
bacon
you
in it.
buy, it's not too calorie dense, but still count it. Put it in your food for the day. It's not water. It has
Right,
calories.
it does have calories.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
count it.
So there'll be some fat in it.
Yeah,
there
so
will be
it's
some
like
fat.
nice carbs.
It's not going to be as much fat as if you had almond butter
No,
or the
but
actual
don't
almond,
think
but it's
it
not.
doesn't count.
Okay.
Because
But good on you. Milking those almonds. What a,
The little,
Chris, how many calories a day are you gonna eat?
Looks like about 1,800.
Robert, how many calories are you gonna eat a day? Yep.
Based on this,
Yep.
either 180 or 220. Because we
Okay.
haven't said whether
Right.
it's lean body
Right.
mass or
Right.
total.
I would suggest you guys go a little bit on the higher end if you're looking for body fat. Here's the deal. You will see benefits from this in health, performance, and aesthetic on the higher end.
Of eating.
We are looking of eating, right?
So women should
What's
go with
gonna
the
happen?
11, not the 10.
Get up there, because we don't want to reduce early. We don't want to make that mistake of reducing early. This is, once again, for my body fat folk, we're looking at about a half a pound to a pound of body fat loss per week. Now, what is that going to look like? I'm looking for the 20-year-olds in here. I'm not seeing them. I'm not 30. Anyone in their 30s. Luke we just lost Luke. And right, we're creeping up here, people, right? So, the way that you're going to measure
Seriously.
a woman's, I'll post this, the way a woman is going to lose 8 pounds is it's going to be like this.
That was awesome that he lost 8 pounds.
Okay? Doesn't count. Now the hard work's over 3 months.
how are we going to sustain this after
Okay.
the third month? Yeah.
So each month we're going to do this. Each month we're going to do this. We're going to have a meeting, right? We're going to have a meeting in a month. We're going to talk about what the next phase looks like. So you guys are going to bring in
This is
my
just for this
experience
month. This is
just for this month. And then I'll start talking a little bit more specifically. How's it going for you? It's going well. Okay, why? Okay, let's talk about why it's not. Now, obviously, we're talking on the Facebook page like as much as possible, so you're not like waiting for it. Okay, My Fitness Pal, right? My Fitness Pal. When you set up your account, you got to go through the process. It's not that hard, right? You got to go through with the settings and friends and who to share it with. And Z805.
5.
So
So everyone needs to create their account today. I'm going to go in and friend you, or you friend me. And you need to
go into your
settings
your
and
privacy account and click open to the public.
yes.
Wait, which app are we
Okay?
on?
So I can
Because she can see it.
So I'm going to check in and make sure you guys are
My Fitness Pal.
The calorie counter and diet tracker by my
There's an area where you can put in fitness. Are we not gonna touch the fitness part?
I'm not going to touch the fitness part. I'm not going to touch it. If you want to nerd out on it, do it. I don't. If you want to nerd out on it, put your stuff in. It's just that I don't trust a app telling you how many calories you burn. People are going to start asking me. So how many? Look at my ass. How many calories do I burn in a CrossFit class?
Yes.
Right? I don't have an idea. Nothing that knows. Not a Fitbit. Not anything. Nothing knows.
So, do you adjust your calorie intake the days that you work out versus the days that you don't? I know you said something on this in one of the
When we start getting in there. When we start getting in there. When we start getting into the body fat loss stuff.
So that's next month. So don't adjust anything right now. Just the days you
I
work
need
out.
you guys this month literally getting healthy. That's the whole point of this month. Literally your body feeling good, your muscles feeling full, your belly feeling good, your all that stuff.
Yeah, can we email Zoe something if I don't want to post things on Facebook?
A question?
She just goes in.
She just,
not-
you're not, your Fitness Pal's not going on
People
Facebook.
are not
It's not
checking
on
what you're doing.
Just Zoe is looking at it.
Good job, Andy.
Okay. Don't want people to know my
I honestly don't
You're
care,
what?
right? Enough to look, unless it's not working.
I want to know.
At the workouts.
No, unless you're not
The whole
reaching your
thing.
goals,
The whole
right?
thing.
That's the only time I care.
If this way of eating is stressing you guys out and you want to know more science about it, please email me and I would love to answer those questions.
Yeah, I think this.
This is
Okay, so there are, like just to nerd out a little bit, a pound of body fat carries an energy of 3,500 calories.
Yeah.
So in order for you to lose a pound of body fat,
Yeah.
you need to be in a deficit in your life of 3,500 calories.
Yeah.
That makes sense?
Yes.
This is
Okay.
high, I mean,
Huh?
it's a lot of calories.
It's a lot of calories, especially up front. And when we reduce your calories, and you guys are like, so basically you're telling me I get a tablespoon of fat a day and 60 grams of carbs a day for the next month? And I'm like, yeah. And you're like, fuck. Okay? Because that will work for 30 days. We'll talk about the 4th month. We'll talk about the base plan. It's probably gonna look a lot like the cleanse for a month. And then guess what? You do it again. But then it starts getting a little more specific because it has to.
We ever get to like go woo-hoo and have a party and bring
Good
out
question.
Yeah,
What do you do when you have,
count and triple cups?
what's that?
Or,
You want to go out and have 3 beers, 4 beers, 5 beers?
no, but
maybe
like,
more?
let's just-
I mean, I'm
Count it.
some social event in the next 3 months.
Just do
What
it.
happened?
Just do it and be a normal person, and then you just the next day you get back
you're
on.
not going to
Or-
get the results you want for that day.
Right.
Like, go
That's
back to it the
okay.
next day.
But
Or
I think you
count it. Count
Yes,
it.
the
3
thing is,
glasses of
don't not
wine.
log it.
Count it towards your carbs.
When I've used
Don't
my
eat
fitness-
normally and then be like, fuck it. Right? Why would you do that to yourself? Right?
all the time.
When I have used my Fitness Pal and you avoid logging the things that you know are going to be bad,
The bad stuff.
then that's bad. Like log it and see the date. Just see it as a number. It's not any. If there's no judgment on it, you know what I mean? Like we've done this. We are have 6 days in. I went to a party last night. I made this amazing king cake, and I was like, I'm gonna have a fucking bite of that. I slaved over this thing all day.
Was it
I'm
good?
fine. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm not, and I would
Tell us
put in
all
there
about the
like.
fight.
Tell us about the cake.
Right.
Show you a picture. But my point is like I'm not doing anything anymore to beat myself up and not be.
We used to do, and I'll get to your question in just a sec, Jenny. We used to do paleo challenges. And back in 2008, when you had people eat paleo, everybody dropped weight in 30 days.
Yeah.
Right? That ain't gonna work anymore. So then we did, other challenges. We've done Biggest Loser. We've done Revival of the Fittest. We've done all these different things.
Biggest winner.
We've never weighed and measured. We've never said specifically, Jenny, you need to eat this many calories, this many carbs, this many fat, this much fat, and this much protein on a daily basis in order to get to your goal. Not even knowing what your goal is. Because the goal really is going to start coming in the second month, right? Because everybody's still kind of a hot mess, right? Now, question, let me get her.
Yeah, so if, just to start off, I cannot stomach so much protein or carb, kind of one of the 2 meals, can I make up for that in the second or third meal? Just because, you know, I'm trying to adjust it.
Yes.
So as long as I have that intake
Yes.
throughout the day.
Per day.
that's
Yes.
fine.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. I mean, I would like, the carbs to be heavy around the workouts and lighter in the fat in general. And if you're like, I don't know how. But you have to experiment with stuff and see if it works.
Do you guys have any awesome suggestions on one of the things that is egg whites, just to have egg whites around, so I boiled like a dozen eggs. But is there something else that you can grab on the go? Is there a bar? Is there a jerky? Is there a
So
anything?
Kendra travels a lot. Okay, and I did this with her about a month ago in general. I threw her like some general things to try to get ready for, she decided to do it through the holidays and all that stuff. She's like an insane person. But, when you look at something like the Fuel for Fire or the Mammoth Bar or like the Quest bars aren't food, right? They're like processed shit, okay? But they're things that have the macronutrients you can look on that will keep, right? That you can keep. Beef jerky has sugar in it, right? Okay, so it's calorie dense. We're looking for, now look, you want to talk about a guy on the run, this is my life, right? I will leave the house with 5 to 6 of those containers every day and a couple of shaker bottles in my stupid bag and eating cold meals in my lap in my car as I'm racing to another gym. Now, I don't, flying on an airplane and being at the mercy of somebody in the Philippines, I don't even know, that's a whole nother, we'll go to her to figure out how she managed that, right? It's,
preparing stuff and bringing it, the shake, I packed my carry-on and just add water to it.
Do you bring one of those big APS things with you?
I just put it in a Ziploc bag.
Yeah.
Yeah, double Ziploc bag.
You do that every day instead of, because there's things you're at a hotel.
You can get eggs.
You can have scrambled eggs and steamed spinach, right?
100%.
But it's hard to measure it and weigh it and all that.
Yeah.
Exactly right, but guess what? After the first week, you're gonna look at it, you're gonna know.
Yeah.
I don't weigh and measure my food. I did it today so I can show you guys an exact amount. I know exactly, this is 40 grams of carbs. Rice, sweet potato, oatmeal, cooked. Okay. Rice, sweet potato, wad up a bunch of bread.
I like the 40.
If it's this size, this is 40 grams.
So eat one sweet potato that size before you work out or whatever.
Or mashed, or whatever, right? Like this is pretty much it, right? This is pretty much same thing. They call it deca carbs. Is like whatever it is, 3.5, 4 ounces of chicken. It's about this, right? Same thing. That's why the fist size thing in the beginning was an easy way for everybody to measure their food, because it kind of, men have bigger fists. Right?
What were you saying about egg whites versus eggs?
So you gotta, egg yolks count as fat. So look on the Facebook page, we did this, right? For those of you guys who saw, I did a egg yolk, fat to, what did I do it with? Does anybody remember? Egg yolks? I think Luke asked the question.
One egg yolk is a half a tablespoon.
A tablespoon equals 2 full eggs equals
A half a
Yeah, so I did the math with the eggs compared to egg yolks compared to olive oil. So you can split and see what the value is. Right? Yes.
So this measuring of carbs and all that's a bit challenging for me because I'm also
Emotionally or structurally?
Everything.
Okay.
Emotionally,
All right.
just
Okay.
the time and just psychologically. But some carbs are denser than others. So for example, you say 40 grams of cooked pasta. That's a lot more pasta than say 40 grams of.
It's not sweet.
Not really.
So that would be ounces if you were doing weight, right?
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
That's how many carbs, the value, not the measurement. It's the value on my fitness ball. Yeah.
Here, I'll show you.
When you look, you're gonna be like, shit, it's no pasta.
Okay, look what I just did. Here, I'll show you. I just put my shake that I had for breakfast. So what I put in my fitness meal is my heavy whipping cream that I had in my coffee, my spinach, my blueberries, my green
Yes,
pepper,
you
my
can
celery,
now or
my green
later.
drink,
Let's do it now because I
my
bet
green
you somebody's
pepper.
gonna.
One is, are you gonna put the 200-pound guy up there for the
Yes.
ounces?
Yes.
I'd like to see that.
I'll put the 140-pound woman and the 200-pound guy on the Facebook page today.
Okay, I'd like to see that. And number two, is there an exercise prescription days per week?
No. Okay. So
Because when I went on the juice thing, I didn't work out because I felt like shit.
Right.
So for me, there's a component, and like these guys were saying, I've done Biggest Winner, and it was like 10 minutes per day,
Right.
3 CrossFit workouts per week.
Right.
And so for me, part of the equilibrium is the burn as well as the consumption.
If I were to make an assumption of Eric, which he wishes to lose body fat,
Correct.
he is in a positive position where he carries a lot of lean body mass. Okay? Eric is a nutrient-dense human being. Okay? So I am not concerned about his exercise prescription. I get a woman who comes in.
But does that mean I can do 0, or does that mean
Can't
stick
do
with what I
zero.
do?
Can't do 0. 2 to 3 hard weight workouts would be way more beneficial than CrossFit to you. If you had the time, if you were like, I got 30 minutes, 3 times a week, what should I do? Right? Maintain your lean body mass. That exact prescription goes for a small-framed woman who wants to lose body fat who has no lean body mass. I would give her the exact same prescription. I only have 3 sessions of 30 minutes a week. What should I do? Lift heavy shit. Okay?
All right, so you're not going to put an exercise.
Beats per minute, sweat poured, calories burned, does not. It's a drop in the bucket because everything comes down to keeping this high. And running a 5K does not keep this high. It's great. Keeps us in good mental health, right? Feel good. I like it. Makes me feel good. But it's not supporting the metabolic rate, right? Lifting a heavy session of deadlifting will outdo this every single time. Because it's a race of maintaining lean body mass, keeping the metabolic rate high, and for most folks, reducing body fat. So when they go to a hotel at 5 in the morning because they're at a conference and they hop on the elliptical, I would rather you do 10 sets of push-ups to fail.
Everyone looks at you funny.
When I do what?
Everyone looks at you funny when you go to the hotel gym and start doing push-ups and stuff.
Yes,
but whatever.
You guys can all discuss that. Thank
I look
God
at that.
that is
Look at
not
them
my
funny.
I have one more question.
Yes, please.
I find it hard to eat 5 meals a day.
Okay.
This is maybe a dumb rhetorical question because you're saying
I'm
the
okay with
goal,
3.
it's 210 times 10, it's whatever.
Yep.
But like right now it's 11 o'clock.
Right.
I woke up at 8, I came in, I worked out at 9.
Yep.
Now it's 11. I haven't eaten.
Me neither.
Right.
So,
right.
and that's not super unusual for me.
It's like I just want to go exactly. Exactly.
Right.
That's why you're here, right? But you go 3 meals a day.
It's hard for me to do
Fine.
5. I'm also not someone who likes to cook.
Right.
So the question
Can you
about
down the world?
By the way, I have a super amazing, if you feel like making a small investment, buy a sous vide. I have a portable sous vide.
What is
and
it?
It's basically you're cooking your
What is your
food
food, right?
in a plastic, like a BPA-free plastic bag, warm water. It is a game changer if you're only eating lean protein. I put 6 chicken breasts in. It's an hour. I cook them. They're moist. They're tender. You don't need fat. It
Did
doesn't
you say moist?
We eat a lot of game because Jake hunts, so we eat a lot of game, which is naturally very lean.
Yep.
And so, yeah, game is, wild
So
game
you're
is
good
very
with
lean.
3 meals.
So my point is like,
Most
it's
important is the meal after the
Workout.
right. And you can do this on the road.
not cooking.
You can do it on the road. Don't be afraid of,
I pack. I
You
like
just travel a little bit of a pain in the
I
ass
have
when you go to that
No,
restaurant.
my point is,
You can do this in Chipotle.
We got the portable one and I
Do
just
it.
used
What do you get? Tell me your order.
Two scoops of chicken,
Yeah.
1 scoop of rice.
What do I get for breakfast when I go to Shoreline? Veggies.
Okay, you want probably 6 to 7 egg whites. I don't trust their oatmeal because they probably
Veggies.
cream it up.
Veggies.
More importantly, some sort of starch.
What are we talking about?
Right?
Which is what do I get at Shoreline?
Rice,
What's the
probably
starch?
rice. Get there,
Rice.
probably rice because you know one of the best things you guys can do is when you go to Whole Foods, if you're on the run, if you go to a supermarket, is go to the sushi area and ask for rice. They'll give it to you for like $1.
And none of them
Okay, or less.
So sushi is good with fish and rice.
Well, ask them. Ask them if they sugar it. Typically, when they're just sitting on the side, they don't sugar it. But it's after when they start making.
What if I get chicken apple sausage on the side?
Very fatty, incredibly calorically dense.
No good. Not a protein.
Not on the list. It's not on the shopping list. Right?
in the first week,
Chicken apple sausage.
an experiment. TJ, what about the chicken Italian sausages at Whole Foods?
Okay, sausage is shit, right? Are we all on the same page? Like they scoop the shit up off the floor and then they put it into casing, right? They sell it to us and we're like, I love it. It's spicy. I like it. And it's typically incredibly fatty.
Yeah.
All sausage. All sausage is fatty.
Yes.
That's where they put the skin and, like my dad says, the eyelids and assholes, right? Sorry. Yeah. What I'm hoping to see in our little Facebook group are some pictures, right? This is me, boom, on the road. This is me. And then you could be like, am I in there? Am I close? What do you think, right? Somebody's gonna, probably have a huge scoop of guacamole on the side of their thing. Okay, all right. Do you have any idea how much fat is in that? Just thought I should have fat, so I just ate the whole thing.
So half an avocado is
I just got on it.
It's not bad. But that scoop it,
That's it for a meal.
But that scoop at Chipotle, that thing's got a lot of shit in there, right? They want to make it taste. Remember, anywhere outside of your kitchen, they want it to taste good, right? So they're gonna add a ton of flavor to it, probably in the form of fat. Okay. Questions.
So what's your favorite like end of day shake? What do you put?
My
Do you put these